Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about one of the great capability of Microsoft 365 overall and Entra ID, right? So this capability is configurable within Microsoft Entra ID, right? So what is that? And I'm going to give you overview along with I'm going to show you how we can configure it, right? So this is the one of the capability that each and every organization would want to use for different scenarios, different requirements, and it also gives us the different capabilities why we should use it, right? So that whatever the communication is going to be happening between two different organizations or more than one organization, it is going to give us and organizations to make sure the communication is flawless, right? So I'm talking about the cross-tenant integrations, right? So cross-tenant synchronization in short, right? So that's the one of the capability which is pretty great and straightforward as well, where we would simply go ahead and configure it, right? And there is separate architecture as well, how it synchronizes and how it works, right? So I'm going to show you that as well and show you the flow between, right? So let me share my screen quickly and then I'm going to show you first the architecture of that, right? So architecture is already built by Microsoft. So I'm not, or I have not built it, right? So this is the architecture you can see on the screen, which shows us two different organizations, Fabricam Mexico and Fabricam US, right? So these are the two different organizations and they are bind together with cross-tenant synchronization capability, right? And here you would see each organization has their internal and external organization or internal and external users, and those would come up together to make sure communicate on different scenarios, different projects, different requirements, and all those things, all those capabilities would be synchronized between two organizations, right? And to do that, definitely we would have to pass the certain details between two organizations, right? So at the top end, you can see, let's say this organization and this Fabricam US, both are synchronizing with cross-tenant sync capability and they are able to communicate. Now here you can see that the user, which is from Fabricam US, which is in user 3, which is the internal, and this user is external for them. And at the same time, user 4 is internal for either this users or this user could be from partner organization or from any other third party organization. They are also part of this synchronization upon cross-tenant synchronization, right? So now once the synchronization is configured, it is going to be allowing us as well as users to communicate on different workloads. They would be able to access workloads and applications, and we can provide them right set of access levels so that people can simply go ahead and access those. Also, you can see that at the right side where there are a bunch of Microsoft applications and non-Microsoft applications as well. So we can put all those different applications in scope for those people to access, right? And once they have the right set of access, they would definitely be go ahead and be able to use it and work for their roles, right? So if it is for a contractor or maybe a partner or vendor, they wanted to work for a project and that duration is around maybe particular duration, maybe 3 months, 6 months, or something like that, then they would be able to go ahead and use it, right? So that is why this is the pretty straightforward way where we just wanted to keep the tenants synchronized with right set of workloads and only those workloads are allowed to be able to access and everything, right? So let's jump onto the setting and configurations that I'm going to show you and we would be able to set it up, right? So here is the setting, right? So I'll show you from the beginning. And so from here, I'm on Entra tenant, all right? And from here, we can simply go back to the identity. And you can see that under the external identities, here's the option, which is cross-tenant synchronization. Also, there's a setting for us to configure for cross-tenant settings, right? So let's say I wanted to set it for one organization. So I would come here and go through this one. So here we see what is cross-tenant synchronization is the cross-tenant synchronization, right, for your requirements. And there are supported scenarios where the cross-tenant is going to help us, right? So these are few, but there are so many different scenarios where we can go ahead and configure the cross-tenant, and it's going to be very useful and helpful for the organizations. And over here, you would see the configuration button where we have new configuration options to add. Let's say I wanted to add Contoso Pro. So this is just one of the organization where I wanted to create, right? Also, there is a brand new option which is in preview currently, which says set up cross-tenant synchronization across Microsoft Cloud. What does this mean is that it is going to be allowing us as well as that respective organization to synchronize every cloud, including government cloud, as well as GCC cloud and all other cloud providers, which are a part of Microsoft cloud ecosystem, right? So those would also be part of this if in case we wanted to allow them to, right? So I have given it a name now. So let's go ahead and create one. So it will be created over here, right? And I'm just giving it a name here. So you can give any name, whichever is suitable for your organization or wherever you wanted to make that connection or build, right? So let's give it a minute or two, and it's going to simply be creating that synchronization. Perfect. Here you can see that it has created the cross-tenant, right? And now you can see that we have option over here to get start with provisioning and how we wanted to enable it. So first option is either we wanted to enable provisioning manually or automatic, right? So these are the provisioning options for us. Either if we wanted to set it to automatic, then we have to select the tenant ID of that respective domain or that respective tenant where we wanted to provision automatic, or here we wanted to provision our identities to their tenant automatically without doing annual or manual work at all, right? So once we enter the tenant ID over here, we can test this connection. So it's going to test that connection that's going to happen in the backend automatically because Microsoft has that capability built in the backend infrastructure. That's going to happen. And once that is done, here's the setting option where we can set email alerts or notifications if in case there are any failure occurs, as well as prevent accidental deletion, right? So even we can set that threshold over here as well, right? So these are the options available upon tenant ID and successful test connections, right? So for now, I don't have any test connection or tenant ID to test this out, but definitely this can also be tested prior and set it up. If we wanted to go with the manual one, then we don't have really any steps to take, but definitely there are different options for us to go ahead and take those actions. For example, here we have options to add a group or users. So I would be able to simply add a specific user or specific group to this one, and that same group can be allocated to synchronize from our tenant to that respective tenant wherever we wanted to synchronize, right? Similarly, on the provisioning tab I was talking about, where we can set up manual as well as automatic. So these are the two options over here, and we can build that connection, right? And then there are some of the activity as well, which we can track out, including activity logs, provisioning logs, and insights, right? So all of these details is available over here to see what's happening across. Here you can see that I have created the target tenant, right, which is a cross-tenant synchronization. And you can see it has captured all those audit logs over here. Similarly, there would be provisioning logs as well. If in case we have provisioned, be it automatic or manual, all those provisioning logs would be captured and would be shown under this tab under the provisioning logs, and those can be downloaded as well for last 30 days in JSON and CSV format. So these are the different capabilities along with insights. And so insight is not available over here. It seems there is additional support or additional requirements to be set up for this, but definitely that can also be configured and that can be set up as well, right? So there's another setting I was talking about, this one, which is a cross-tenant access settings, right? So this can be enabled for different domains altogether. If in case we have enabled the cross-tenant, right? So this is on a specific domain level where we can add organizational settings as well as default settings for B2B outbound access and tenant restrictions, right? And then multi-cloud settings for different cloud providers, including China operated or Azure China operated by 21ynet and Azure government as well, right? And there are other bunch of options, but these are different options and not relevant to cross-tenant settings or configurations, but that can also be configured, right? And we can see that there are 4 organizations I have added right over here, and I can simply edit or modify or delete or any organization, let's say by adding organization over here. So I just need to give a tenant ID and or a domain name, and that domain is going to be added over here. If I don't have tenant ID, I would simply be adding, let's say, I will try contoso.com. Let's see if that works. Perfect. So here you can see that there's a tenant ID with that particular domain, contoso.com, and you can see the name as well, Contoso Limited with the tenant ID. So it's going to automatically pull the tenant ID for our domain as soon as we put the domain name, right? Let's say maybe I just wanted to put something like test.com. Perfect. Here you can see that test.com is one of the domain and here is the tenant ID as well, right? So I can simply add this over here and it's going to be added to our domain over here, right? So this is going to be added in the cross-tenant access settings, and the same can be leveraged for different communications, right? On inbound access, outbound access, and tenant restrictions levels. So we can go ahead and configure and change each of those settings where we wanted to customize B2B collaboration, B2B direct connects, trust settings, and cross-tenant sync as well, right? So here you can see that allow users sync into this tenant. If I set yes and save these settings, then we have an option which we are going to enable our tenant being as a source, and whatever the identities which we wanted to synchronize with that respective tenant is going to synchronize those identities and can be leveraged. If we don't want to set this up, we can go ahead and enable this one, which is B2B collaboration, B2B direct connects, and trust settings as well, right? So these are the different ways which we can automatically be configure. Also, here you can see that automatically redeem invitations with the tenant, this one, which is going to allow us to directly redeem the invitations, which we really don't want to because we have already set up the cross-tenant synchronization. So we don't want users to go ahead and accept or redeem those invitations, right? Instead, they should be automatically redeemed and they should have access to the resources that we are going to provide access to them, right? So that way it is going to be allowing us to do that as well, right? So basis on that, it's going to help the organizations to make sure fasten the process as well as that process is going to be working as expected, right? So this is how we can go ahead and configure the cross-tenant synchronization, and under the external collaboration setting. So this is not relevant to that one, but still when we have B2B collaboration or B2B direct connects, In that scenario, we can definitely consider these configurations and keep it active and use it, right? So yeah, that is what I wanted to show you in this video and show you how we can go ahead and configure it one. And hope you like it, hope you learn it, right? And do share this video to friends and people around you so that they can also learn and know it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well so that you will get to see every new video whenever it is uploaded, right? So yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching and bye for now.